Now, before we continue on, sort of from where we left off last night, and yes, I did come to the model table for a few minutes last night, just a very few minutes. Yeah, I'm going to use Andy's photo etch bender here to bend these, but not the way you think. We'll talk about that in a minute here. I think what we should do is roll back to last night and see what happened. Nothing exciting, just something happened. Well, I've come back to the model table here this evening, and I did clean up some of these little parts here. And I don't know how it is where you lived, or the country you lived in, but in the here in North America, when I was a teenager, there was a kind of a popular comic strip, and it was called BC. And in BC, the characters used to drive around standing on things that looked just like this. And I remember the last time I was working with these, I thought of that. I thought of that comic strip. Now, so maybe I should check my monitor here. Okay, I have to move. I want to try and get everything in there. Maybe if I grabbed them like this, it'd work better. Get them spread out so we can see what we got. And now, yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're going to be bending these so that the axle of one of these is going to go through like a hole here, right? Something like this. It kind of fits. Yeah. Okay, so then you can see where this one would fold up and over in onto that, and then this has to be folded over the end, and then the hook has to be bent back. Yeah, I can see how this is sort of supposed to go. I'm going to give it a try on camera, and before we do that, one of these, or this thing rather, has to go on here. And then, are we still in? Guess we have to move this way a little bit. Anyway, the idea is that this one would be see if I can move the camera here. Okay, hopefully we're still in focus. All right, then this one has to be made so that it matches up anyway. I know what I mean. I'm just having trouble saying it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera or not. I think I'm too tired to do it tonight. But I did want to work on this a little bit this evening. I didn't show, needless to say, I did not show when I was cleaning up these wheels and so on, but they went pretty good. They're basically round. Yeah, they're basically round. See you in the morning. Well, obviously it's morning. And what is this all about now? Well, I'm going to take this slide here, which I have used before. In fact, I think I can see a scratch on it. Maybe it's a smudge. And we're going to take this one here, which has the small hook. It doesn't really matter, large hook, small hook. Let's turn it over so it's got the indents on the up. And I don't want to be touching it because I did that is with my greasy fingers. Why is this not turning over now? Oh yeah, it is turned over. Okay. At least I think it is. No, it's not. There. Okay. Now you should be able to see, even this far back, that it's got the indents up. Now the reason I'm putting it on a microscope slide here is because I want to be using my microscope, not the shop microscope. I want to be using the one that'll I can get into about 1 or 200 power. And I think I started to say that I did the Windex thing on this and the other two pieces as well, and then I did the ultrasonic cleaner thing, and I've got the metal down to just pretty much the way it probably was before it got paint on it. And what got me thinking about it was a comment that I got. And it was sort of like, why remove the paint when you're going to be painting it again? Well, if you will remember, the paint that got on here that I had sprayed the railings with was the Tamiya XF paint. I forget which one, 77 maybe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The Tamiya XF paint does not stick really well to this. And my thinking is that I'm going to be wanting to use CA glue to fasten some of these photo etch pieces together. In other words, photo etch to photo etch, or maybe in some cases photo etch to plastic. At any rate, if the paint is acting as a barrier, it's not going to the CA glue is going to be sort of riding on top of the paint. It's not going to be penetrating right down to the photo etch, which I believe is kind of porous. And what got me thinking about that is the fact the way this photo etch is formed. It's not really, these pieces are not stamped out as sheets. They're they're kind of formed electronically, you might say, in individual little particles. Yeah, there's a word for it. I can't think of it right now. Maybe I'll think of it and I'll put it in the screen down below. Anyway, let's get the microscope set up here and bore everybody to tears. Okay, I was a little bit off there on my thinking. What I was thinking of was additive manufacturing. Sort of like a 3D printer, only they have figured out how to do it with metal now as well as plastic. At least that's what I've been told by somebody in the know. Now, I've never seen it done. Yeah, now the bottom line is that what I have noticed is that these 3D sheets seem to be a little bit rough on the surface, almost porous-like, and that's what I intend to show here with the microscope. Now, if you will remember, last Friday, I forgot about the groceries. My neighbor went to pick up groceries, and he came back just a little while ago, and right now it is pouring outside. So we're going to wait until it stops raining, and he's going to give me a call when he thinks it's safe to go and unload his trunk. I don't want to be forgetting this time. I'm watching in the monitor. I can actually see his car, and I've got the phone. I don't want to mess up 2 weeks in a row. Anyway, what I've got going on here is a light shining across the surface of that photo etch piece, with the one with the little hook, And the idea is it's supposed to cast a shadow. And I'm going to enlarge this, don't worry. This is on the minimum power of this microscope. I'll move it in one notch more. I think it would be what they would call 40 power, and I'll move it up to about 100. That's about as good as I can get with this camera microscope combination. Let's get to where one of those little detents is where you have to bend. Okay, that's about as sharp as I can get on the surface there. You'll notice it's kind of porous. If we move in, you notice how it's kind of, you might say, pitted. And especially as we go down into the, you might call it the channel, the valley. Now, as we move down into the valley, you can see it is quite pitted. It's quite etched. I guess that's where the word etching comes from. We're right down in the very bottom of the valley there right now. It's difficult to get a whole lot of stuff sharp all at the same time with a microscope, but we're right down in the bottom there. You can see it's kind of rough and kind of porous. We'll back up to the surface here. Now, my thinking is that if the paint is plugging up all of those little porous areas, the CA glue is going to be riding on the top of the paint, and the bond is not going to be as strong. So that's why I do I remove the paint, because I think that the photo etch will stick together better. That's my uneducated opinion. We waited for a bit of a lull in the rain, and then we brought the groceries in. Now, this is what I'm going to use Andy's bender for. I'm not going to stick it underneath here and then fold it up. I just want to use the bender as a base to be able to hold it down. I will put the macro lens on, and then I'm going to try and fold this up. Where will I get one of these? Okay, I want to try and fold one of these up so that it is almost completely closed, and then we're going to put the pulley in, and we'll just have to see how it goes from there. I'll put the macro lens on. Well, here we go. Let's try and keep everything more or less over this dot, and I know you're going to be able to see it. Now, we're going to want to bend. If I hold it down right there, okay, now we'll swing it around. Okay. Now, I just gave the monitor a quick look. All of a sudden I thought, did I remember to push record? Okay, now, can we spring this open? Let's see if I get my finger in there. Okay, I have to spring this open enough to get this in. Maybe another pair of tweezers here somehow. Oh, sorry about all the shaking. And these tweezers are sharp, and I don't want them to be... Oh. Maybe I closed it up too much, right? Okay, one axle is in. Yeah, you can see the one is in. I think they're both in. I just have to squeeze it together now. It doesn't want to go. It's getting itself out of shape here. Well, I think I might have to do this off camera, folks. I suppose what I could do is put a tiny bit of extra thin on that axle, and that would sort of dissolve it. It just does not want to go, does it? You know, the fact that it didn't go might be a blessing in disguise. If it had have gone and I had to glued it all up, and then later found that I forgot to put this in, because this has to go on first. Now, how is a person supposed to be able to get the other shackle, or whatever you want to call it? Okay, let's pull it apart here. I keep forgetting that all I have to do is just move it very minutely and you don't see it anymore. Sorry about that. You know what? I am going to have to do this off camera. Okay, so this is going to go not like that, but now, in all likelihood, there was probably people screaming at their monitor saying, "Ron, you don't need to worry about that thing until you close this top part over, because you can still slip this on before you bend over this part right here and close it off right there." So I'm going to try the extra thin. Maybe the extra thin. Remember we bought it about 3-4 months ago? Maybe a year ago now. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so here's the plan. First of all, let's see what would happen if I rotate the pulley, because it is part way in. Maybe I better rotate it towards the tweezer, otherwise I'm going to pull the whole thing out and it's going to sort of ping away. No, I'm going to have to do something to make the axle smaller. So let's just lay it on its side here like this. Whoops, no, not like that. It didn't go very far, don't worry. Okay. Now, if I was to put just a tiny little... Okay. Now this is the extra thin. Okay, I'll try and come in here now and push this down. Now, I think probably what happened is that the Tamiya extra thin did not actually go where it was needed. It just sort of stayed on the top there. This might be a courting disaster. Nope, it went. Okay, now we'll do the same on the other side. Oh, the other side came out. Okay, I'm going to have to take it off camera to get it back in. Okay, I was finding that I was moving Andy's photo etch bender around accidentally, which would take it out of your field of view. Now, I'm just trying to sample just a little bit here. Now, this should go. There. All right. We got it. Now, before we fold over the top where the hook is, we got to stick this thing in. Okay, I do apologize for my fingernails here, but I'm going to try and hold this down with my finger. Because I can sort of feel how much pressure Hey, I know, why don't I grab this thing with the tweezer? Now we should be able to, whoops, don't come out. Should be able to fold it up like this. There. Okay, how's that look? Let me get it turned around here so I can see it myself. Right now you can probably see it better than I can. Alright, so squeeze this together just a little bit here. Now the idea is that you're supposed to be able to bend this back up in such a way so as that the hook will sort of come out in a straight line with this pulley and everything. I mean, that's the way you're supposed to do it. I might have to do this off camera here. Oh, I see. The reason I can't squeeze this together is because this belt or cable has gotten itself there. Now maybe I can squeeze it together. What kind of time have we got going on here anyway? Whoops. Maybe I'd best do this one off camera and then we'll look at it after. Well, it's a good thing that I can cut out the audio. I wouldn't want you to be listening to a grown man cry. Okay, actually I didn't cry. I just bent this one too many times, I guess, and metal fatigue took over and it broke off. Now, if you will recall, I was trying to do a little hook like this almost two years ago now on the Bismarck. It had something to do with a crane as well. I think it was one of the aircraft cranes, and I just could not get it. So it must be little hooks in me are jinxed. Now, I think that what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try and CA it onto the end. Yeah. What else can we do here? I'm not going to try and do the other one on camera. I'm going to be getting coffee company this afternoon, and I do have one question though, and that is I'm wondering, did you stay up till 11 o'clock and watch this? Yeah, Jason. It was UK Jason that made the question about the why do I remove the paint off the photo etch, and they are he is 6 hours ahead of me. So when I post these videos at 5 p.m. Winnipeg time, it's already 11 o'clock at night there. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow. Gotta poke at it one more time.